I
Wow.
want to say cheers to everybody who joined.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I'm
Joined
having
Cheers.
Casamigos tequila.
tequila. There we go.
Look at you.
When I start tonight, I'll be vodka.
There we go.
I'll
There we
be
go.
on vodka.
Tennessee apple whiskey, baby.
Oh wow. Okay, there we go.
Apple whiskey. That sounds wonderful.
Oh, I hate whiskey like Jack Daniels because it's a little stronger. But man, this Tennessee apple, my
Yeah.
son got me hooked through
Yeah.
coronavirus.
Oh boy, I hear you. Hey, so I want to say that I'm going to be muting people as we go through. Like if I see background noise, I'll mute you. And if you want to speak, just unmute yourself. Patti, I see you sitting outside getting some sun and I'm loving it. Very nice.
I am.
That's what's up. So I want to start the call off by saying just thank you for being here. I really look forward to Wednesday nights. To me, they're the highlight of my week because we all get a chance to just talk about what's going on and then also talk through some strategies that can help us get better at our craft. So I just wanted to start off by finding who had a win this week. I want to talk about some wins and some positives. Anybody want to share anything?
I have some good. I have some stuff that could turn into really good stuff.
Well, what's up? Share it.
My affirmation is working, and listings are coming to me. I just have to, there's a few things I need to do to make them happen. But doing the lead gen and calling people are bringing me a lot of opportunities.
So, Patti, for people who don't know you, who are new to the call, what is your daily affirmation that you say?
The one, it's always being revised, but right now it's I am a listing magnet. Listings come to me.
Awesome. And since
And it's
you've
working.
been saying that, it's working. You've had what, 2 or 3 listing opportunities come to you, right?
In literally, I think maybe 4 days. Yes.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Nice
All right.
job, Patti.
Who else has some good
Thank
news
you.
they want to share? Raj, what's up?
This is a lot because I did get a listing back that was I had it overpriced last year and they came back this year.
Okay.
So it's the first listing I got this year, and they lowered the price by $55,000. So now, yeah, it's a condo in downtown Jersey City, and so I'm really grateful for that. Now I'm just trying to figure out how do we do this.
Right.
But we're getting a lot of showings, so I'm happy about that. And then, of course, David's kept me accountable to make calls. So today I made a bunch of calls, and I'm telling you, it's like waiting in line for Space Mountain. When you hear that ringtone, you're like, shit. Like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
And so yeah, I mean, I had like all Facebook calls, amazing calls. Like nobody's a jerk. Like one person who was like, as soon as they said I'm a realtor, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're not working with agents right now. That was the worst call I got. I'm like, can I call you back in a week or two? And she's like, yeah, sure. So everybody else, so 2 people were like, we had a good conversation about about their property, but at this point, one of them said, yeah, we're not ready to use an agent. The other one said, call me back next week.
Right.
Then another one, I sold a property in their building in Fort Lee like 2 years ago, so I was familiar with it. And then they're like, "Look, I'm in Florida. I need to sell this. I had it listed under Nelson Chen." And I was like, "Oh, from Chen Agency?" He goes, "Yeah." I go on Palisade, and he goes, "Yeah." So he goes, "That guy's getting too big for his britches. So you send me sale comps. I'll be back in Fort Lee next Tuesday. Let's see if we can do something." And so send me sale comps and rental comps. And you guys do rentals? I go, yeah, we do rentals. So
Yeah.
that was a nice plot. That was like, holy crap. And
Let me be corny for a second with my new toy.
That was easy.
That was easy, right? I was at Staples Shop and I saw this. I'm like, I'm going to be a nerd with this. But come on, man. You made the calls today. You haven't been making the calls. You made them, and look what's happening.
I didn't want to make those calls. I found 100 things. Oh, I got to reduce my insurance. I should call the cable company. You know what? I should work on Command. Command's a great thing. Yeah, let's do Command. So all this garbage in my head. I need to learn how to do Facebook ads. That's a better thing to do. So all this stuff coming in my head, and you don't have to do this for 8 hours. You do it just for an hour. Yeah. And then one other person who he actually does foreclosures, but I do have investors in that part of Hudson County still. I'm going to call them. So we had a talk about, he wanted to talk about politics and reopening and stuff like that. So that was weird, but it was okay.
So 1 hour calls, how many opportunities?
At least 2. I mean, I made 12 calls.
Right.
So at least 2. Now I'm like, oh shit, I got to follow up, like do all that work.
You definitely have to follow up because that's where you get paid. However,
Yeah.
12 calls, 2 opportunities, and that's just in 1 hour.
Yep. And so that's when I was like, as soon as it said 10:58, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Hey man, I commend you for doing it. So good job, man. You're doing your job. That's awesome.
Time to get off the ride.
That's
So,
right.
so that was mine. So it
Okay.
feels, honestly, it feels good. Like when you get that, like I could have like a bunch of jerks tomorrow, but when, you know, and I had the script here and I was trying to go through it and have like buyers agents, but they want buyers, but it feels nice to get even it's just not yelled at. That's a nice feeling.
Yeah. You're not going to get a bunch of jerks tomorrow. What I want you to say is tomorrow people are home and they're happy and they're ready to hear from you. They're ready to do business. Like you got to put it out there. Just like Patti, put it out there. All right. So who else has something good they want to report?
We do. We've gotten, finally, we're able to get the listing for one in Oradell.
Good.
And in the one of the nicer areas in Oradell, the Greenway. So we've been working on this one, Susan especially, for a while. And it's funny because it started off when I was making calls, just cold calling. And he said, keep in touch, maybe a year, maybe 2. and it was a couple of years. So anyway, we're excited about it.
All right. Glad to hear it. Ira, how about you?
I have a couple of things that I'd like to report. I see Tara's not on the call, and I shared this with you earlier, David, but Tara and I, you know, we've got this affinity, and she had these buyers that made an offer on a beautiful house in Waldwick, and they had written a nice letter because the woman is pregnant and she's due in August. And then Tara had reached out to the agent to find out how many offers there are and what do they look like. And we came up with a strategy. I gave Tara some advice on what kind of a strategy she should use and help persuade her buyers to increase their offer over asking. And she got the bid.
Awesome.
So she's a member of our family, so I feel like that's such a great accomplishment.
Yes.
And then the other thing is on my Facebook campaign that I have for this condominium in my building, and I'm having a big problem with my seller because she thinks her wallpaper makes the place. And every comment I'm getting from realtors is, "Oh my God, it's so pink." So she's not willing to do a price reduction. I'm going to work on her. We'll figure that one out. But the good news is that on the Facebook campaign that I started yesterday, I already have 16 leads.
Wow.
And I call every lead. And 2 of the people that I spoke to today, you know, they were just browsing. And I said, well, what else do you have to do? You're home from the pandemic. So we had such a good conversation. One of the women is in Florida. And she's got a place in Manhattan, and the place in Manhattan she's probably going to want to sell, so she can move out of Manhattan because she's so scared of being in the city. So right now she's in Sarasota. We had a really good conversation. I asked her if I could put her into my database. She said absolutely, and I'll keep on following up with her. I've already got her in a campaign, a smart plan.
Smart plan.
And then the other guy when I called him up, I said, so your phone number is 845. Where in Rockland County are you? He said, oh, no, I'm in Florida. I just moved to Punta Gorda, but I used to live in New City, and I had the deli on Airmont Road next to Bagel Boys. I said, I know that deli. I used to live in Suffolk. So I put him in we had such a good conversation. So he's in my database also.
What about your FSBO? Tell everybody what happened with your FSBO in Fairlawn.
All right. Yeah, that's really good. So
good.
I got this FSBO in Fairlawn, and I know at least one fabulous agent in our office, Ron Magashi, had contacted this FSBO and they never called them back. So I just stayed after it, and I got to meet the buyer. The sellers are from Boston. They told me they were going to be in town. This is way back in March. I met them, and I gave them we actually did a standing listing presentation in their living room with the gloves and a mask, and I gave them my whole value proposition. And the biggest thing about my value proposition is that I'm a fanatic about responding to texts and emails.
Yes.
And like a couple of days later, she sends me an email saying, because I had followed up with her, and she said, well, she had interviewed another agent. So this other agent that she interviewed had done $8 million worth of fair lawn business last year. And I said, I haven't done that, but she's not me. So if you list with me, I'm gonna, you're gonna be really happy. Long story short, Sally Ponchak sold her the house 20 years ago.
Wow.
So I used that as an in. I said, oh my God, well, Sally's my broker, and I love Sally, and Sally, she'll be part of the team to make this happen. So a couple of days later, she gave me the job. And she was asking about all the commissions, because the other lady's going to do only 4%. And I said, well, I can't do less than 5%. And usually my listings are 6%. I've given a couple of people 5.5% listings because I know them for many, many years. But you know what? I like you. We'll do a 5% listing. And I said, because Keller Williams, we give 2.5% to buyer's agents, and that's what attracts them to be part of the selling and buying team. Mm-hmm. So I got the FSBO, and then so it went up. It went live. It went live on the MLS last Tuesday, and I'm expecting to see an email shortly that says we're out of attorney review. I had 30 really, really safe showings, which would drive me crazy.
Right.
So we got 3 really great offers, and the offer that won is $16,249 over asking.
Good for you. You do your
wow.
job.
Woohoo!
So
what is David? You always tell us, and we all know this. If you price a house right, it will attract attention and it will sell.
And it will sell. And so here you have this lady, right? This for sale by owner who wasn't going to list with you. Now she's ecstatic that she listed with you. You got her even more money. So my question is, what can we do with that? What can we do with that type of seller who loves us? They're singing our praises. Do you guys know about third-party endorsements? Anybody heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you guys use her for a third-party endorsement?
Well, I'll just say what she told me today in the driveway, because I wanted to get the check for the CCO. She said, okay, so can you send me all of the pictures that are in the listing? Because I want to show all of my friends the job that you did on these photographs. And I want to tell everyone that I wanted to sell it myself 3 times and you did it in a week.
Woo! So that's awesome. Ira, what you have to do for her is take the work out of it for her. Write a letter as if you're writing it as her, saying, as a for sale by owner, I tried to sell the property 3 times. I was looking at listing with this particular agent. I ended up listing with Ira, and boy, am I glad I did. Here's what he did for me, and we got over asking. So you get her to write that letter. You write it for her. You get her to approve it and sign it to whom it may concern. And it's a letter that you're writing to other for sale by owners. Like, you need to use this guy. Here's my referral. Call me. I can tell you what I did for him.
Ooh,
but here's what he did for me.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And you mail those letters out to any for sale by owner and say, listen, I can tell you anything. You don't know me. Here's somebody I helped. Here's a letter from them. Call them and ask them about their experience with me. And after you do that, I'd love to talk to you about what I can do to help you.
That's a great, and I'll put it on my stationery.
I love it.
Put it on your stationery. Listen,
Great idea.
when you brought that up today, it reminded me, because I learned this years ago from Hoss Pratt. It was a strategy he had. And I had one of my expired listings do that letter for me, and it got me at least 5 listings from other people getting that letter.
Wow, that's great.
So you got to do that third-party endorsement. Write that letter up for her.
And I'm writing it.
That's it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Dave, one of the other things, too, you can do is, like, usually, well, not now, but when we used to have closings, stand the people up in front of the bookcase at the lawyer's office and just have them do a short video endorsing you, because
Yep.
is the happiest people are when they, especially first time home buyers, and and brief them, give them a little bit and say, listen, I just want you to say a few things about how you feel right now about buying your house and how easy the process was, and why you chose me and why you were glad you chose me.
I love that.
And I have to give credit to Tony, because the signpost is Tony's signpost
There we go.
on the property.
There we go.
That's what sold it. The sign.
That's what sold it, right? That's what did it. I
I
love it.
borrow it.
My lucky post.
I'll
So,
take it for a while.
I'm happy to have someone new on our call. I don't know if you guys know Radney from our office. She has not been on the call before, but I talked to her today, and she shared something with me that had an impact on me, and I know it'll have an impact on you guys. It's the whole bold law. Change the way you look at things, and
Things you look at change.
Yeah.
absolutely. So, Radney, if you don't mind, I'd love for you to share with them what you shared with me.
Your microphone.
No,
is
your
not
mic
working.
is. Try it again. No. Are you using your headset or are you using the laptop?
Well, now you're muted.
Take your headset off, maybe. It's a good story, so I'm hoping it works.
No, buddy.
Unmute.
Unmute. Hold on. I can't unmute you for some reason. I don't know why. Damn. I can't hear you. Do me a favor, log out and log back in.
Hey,
and
No, she's good.
there you
Now
go.
she's
There you
good.
go. There you
Can
go.
you hear me? Yes.
Keep talking.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. I'm not tech savvy, but I try and get all these gadgets and sometimes they don't work. So forget the gadgets. We'll just do it like this. So I'm Ragini. Some of you know me from the office, and I haven't been an agent for a very long time. But I've had to take a job in the last 1 year at Mercedes-Benz to cover all my expenses at home with the kids and things like that. Hence, I love what I do. I have to say that firsthand. I love real estate. And during this time, since the day it started, I was telling David, I think the day I got furloughed, I sat down with my little iPad I had. I didn't have a computer at that time. I haven't had a computer for 5 years because it broke and I couldn't afford it. So anyhow, I sat down and all I did was real estate. I said, I'm going to focus on something I can focus on. I don't have a job right now. Okay. I went from furlough to total unemployment. Okay. Since the day this thing started, there hasn't been one day I haven't got up past 6:37 in the morning. Every single day I have been up. I sit at the table, I stare at the computer, I do what I have to do. I made my Facebook business page. I've contacted people. I've done what I'm supposed to do. Okay. And here's the thing. I sat down one day and I said, you know what? This is my business. And it clicked because people used to say you're running a business. And I always used to say I'm an agent. I used to feel like I'm doing a job. I'm not doing a job. I'm running a company. And it's just the way I looked at it. My entire mindset just changed. And I started making things up as if it was my own business. Because I come from a business background, but I never looked at real estate as that. So when people ask me, what do you do? I'm an agent. I'm a real estate agent. No, I'm not a real estate agent. I have a company. I own real estate company. And when I started looking at it that way and I started saying it that way, I went from agent to business owner. And that changed my entire prospect of this entire situation. I have 6 listings I got today. Okay. I'm just telling you.
What? You got 6 listings today?
I'm closing one listing this month. I'm closing another listing next month. I got another condo yesterday. I am so busy. I think I don't know what to do with myself. It was just the change of mindset.
Wow, that's great.
It's crazy.
Wow.
It's just crazy. And that's all I tell people. I said, next time somebody says, what do you do? I will never, ever say I'm a real estate agent. Never.
Because you're a business owner. Here's the thing. When you were working for Mercedes, you would go and work 40 hours a week or more for
Yes.
someone else. But as an agent, we don't put that same work in for ourselves. We
Yeah.
lead in like an hour a day or 2 hours a day, and we think we've done something. We are not treating it like our business. And so
Right.
you get out of it what you put into it. And because you are treating it as such, look at the success you're having. I gotta talk that up for you. Cheers. That is so dope. So
God bless, guys. And it's nothing to do with me. Everybody can do it. Everybody can do it. Ira,
I love it.
congratulations on your FISBO. That's awesome.
it has everything to do with you because you get up in the morning and you have a choice to make. Do I bullshit or do I get to work?
Right.
You have to work. And look what happened. It's everything to do with you because we all have the same time.
Yep.
We all have the same 168 hours a week. It's how we choose to use it. So it has everything to do with you and the choice you made to treat this as your business. I was so happy you shared that with me today because so many people need to hear it. And it came right after I shared a video yesterday, which said, if Zoom is not paying you, get off Zoom. Stop doing all these damn Zoom meetings all day long and do your job because Zoom is not going to give you a listing.
That's right.
Unless you're doing a listing presentation. You get what I'm saying.
I do listen to a lot of webinars about successful people and how we have, so I'm taking things from different places. That's important because like they say, don't reinvent the wheel. And that is the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
Take
You guys
love it.
Successful thing.
Who are some of the
I'm
successful
so
people?
hyped right now.
Who are some of the successful people that you're taking stuff from? Just
Well, I'm listening to Gary Keller, and then there was this Gilbert, some Eric Gilbert, who I was listening to. I have been watching so many people. I'm not even joking. I just find them. I don't know how I find them. I'm on this computer 8 hours a day, and I find people, motivational speakers about real estate, okay? And they just give you advice, free advice.
Yeah.
It's free. And I just listen to it, and I take from it, and I write it down. What is it that I want? So my problem is not my expenses, it's my income. This is what one guy said. He says, the problem isn't your expenses, it's your income. We always say, I'm spending too much. No, you're not spending too much. You're earning too little. That's the problem.
Good.
That's really good.
It's just a change. It's amazing.
Great.
All right.
Ragini, I don't know if you remember, but when you first joined Keller Williams, you were in Bold with me, and I didn't have my license when I started Bold the first time.
Oh my God, yes.
And
I
Kathy
showed
Van, you
one of
sat
your
you
houses.
next to me.
Yes.
Kathy Van, you sat you next to me and said, hey, Patty doesn't have her license either. Ragini, Patty, Ragini.
Yes.
And look at that, see?
That's
Amazing is that, Patty? Oh.
And also, I have an orange rain jacket of yours that you left at the open house at 9 Indian Valley when you sat there.
Okay, well, I got to get that back from you then, huh? So maybe you could do some of I got 6 units coming in Garfield and about in August. Brand new. So anybody got buyers, think about them. They're condos, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Brand new, it's pre-construction stage. So anybody who wants to, Garfield's great, low taxes, free kindergarten, and their town is really coming up. So anybody interested, please think about it. They can choose their, colors,
finish it,
whatever. Yeah.
Ragini, the other thing you can say, do you guys watch Modern Family? Do you remember the episode when Phil Dunphy was getting to a woman he was going to talk about the violations she had on her property, and Sophia and the woman said, how do you know all this stuff? And Sophia Vergara says, because he's a realtor. I don't know the difference between that and real estate, but he's a realtor.
Yeah, there you go. And the word you said, Ira, real estate agent. The real estate agent. I'm not just an agent. I'm a real estate agent.
That's good.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that so much. I
love
appreciate
that.
sharing that.
Thank you.
And I noticed that we have Amrita on the call today. And Amrita, when she's on the call, you know what she wants to do, right? She wants to role play.
Role play.
She wants to role play. And one thing we've been working on lately is role playing around asking questions, right? What did they say on the pivot shift call this morning? I took notes and they said, ask and listen your way into their heart and mind. So we have to be asking questions and listening to what they say so that we understand. Logic makes people think, however, the emotion makes them act. And so what I want to do before we talk about our next topic, I want to do some role playing, and I want to find out who wants to role play with Amrita. I want her to be the agent. I want you to be the seller. and I want us to focus on asking questions. I don't want her to tell. I want her to ask questions. So who wants to be the seller for her? All right, Ragini, you
would.
want to do it? Okay. All right, let's do it. So, Amrita, let me ask you, around questions, what do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus around motivation, pricing, commission, objections? Where do you want to focus your questions around?
You paused. I lost connection. So say your question again.
Where do you want to focus your questions around? Actual commission, motivation, pricing?
It doesn't matter. I don't need to target a specific thing right now. What I'm trying to do is build my brain or change the way my brain thinks.
Yes.
I tell. That's just my natural, and I want my natural to be asking questions. So it doesn't matter what it is. I just need to consistently keep it going in that direction.
So, Ragini, I want you to push back on her and just say, you know, listen, I'm willing to work with you, but there's another agent that would do it for less commission. That's what I want your pushback to be for her, okay?
Okay, I get that. Okay, so Amrita, you've come to me. I ask you, what can I do for you?
Well,
I kind of lost her.
I would love to be able to help you get out of this big house that you're in, and you said that you that you have. I don't want it to just be, you know, a far-fetched goal. So what is it that you're looking for in your real estate consultant that will get you there?
Well, I'd like you to sell my house in 30 days, and I would like to get the money that I've asked for. And I'd like it to be as smooth as possible, with your knowledge, of course, and I don't know anything about you.
Sure. Okay. You know, I can toot my own horn, and it's so easy to do that, where I can tell you I'm this and I'm that. I tell people mostly, you can take my phone, I'll give it to you, and you can look up the word client, and a number of people will come up, and you can choose to call anybody you want and ask anything you want. And that is probably the rawest information you can get from someone, and it could be of your choice. So that's how confident I am that you will get an authentic and genuine and positive experience. But tell me what is important to you. I want to know more about what is important to you. Is it the most amount of money? Is it time? Is it
time?
So tell me more about that. What is driving the timeline?
My daughter's having a baby in 30 days, and I need to be there for the delivery.
Okay. How is she feeling?
She's feeling great.
Yeah.
Just wants to get the
Good.
baby out.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
exciting.
you.
Is that going to change your world, and how is it going to even change? This is a multi-leveled impact, right? How is it going to change her world if you're there?
Well, she needs the support because, you know, even though her husband has leave, but he can't take it at this time. So she needs the support, and she doesn't have anybody else but me because her mother-in-law doesn't live in the country.
Okay, so you are it. That's it. There's no nanny. There's no backup. There's no daycare.
No, she can't afford a nanny right now, so it has to be me. So if I'm not there, then she has nobody. So
okay,
that's it.
Okay, so if I can get that done for you in less than 30 days, which is, I don't look to meet expectations. I want to exceed them. So if you're telling me 30 days you want to be out, I want to make it sooner than that. What will that do for you if I'm able to accomplish that goal and get you to your grandchild and daughter?
Oh, that means a lot. That's exactly what I want.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the question. If you can't do that for me in 30 days, then I've wasted 30 days. So the risk I'm going to take with you, knowing that it may not happen, is something I'm not willing to do.
Okay, but wouldn't that be a risk across the board, no matter who you went with? And the only way to mitigate that risk would be maybe the marketing that the person's going to do?
Mm-hmm. Well, the marketing, I know what she does, but she's already got buyers brought to me before I signed the paperwork. And they've come to see the house. And so I've entertained buyers before that. And so I know she has people that are interested. And therefore, that's one of the reasons why I would list with her. But I don't know if you have buyers. If you have buyers, I'd like to entertain that and weigh the two things. Because remember, I have 30 days, so I don't really have time. And that's it.
Okay. So is it the buyers that are important, or is it the price they're willing to pay you and the money you walk away with that's more important to you?
They're both important. At this point, they're both very important. But the fact to have buyers means I have a sale. If somebody lists my house and doesn't have buyers, and I know they say, "Oh, we'll bring the buyers." No, you have to have buyers in advance. And if you don't have them, then there's no point because I have 30 days and it's a time constraint.
Got it. And what do you think would be better? Me bringing 1 or 2 buyers, or putting you in a scenario where you're getting multiple buyers from multiple agents, not just me. Many different agents are knocking down your door trying to get their buyers in. Which
Well,
one would you
that will
prefer?
happen. I hope that will happen, but there's no guarantee. So I'd rather you say you have 3, 4 buyers. I don't have to list the house for another month. So if you come to me and say I have 4 or 5 buyers and they're ready to buy, at least I can work with an agent who has buyers, who has
Sure.
could show me that you have business for me to sell my home, because I'm not just going to have you put it up as a listing and say, well, I'm going to sell your house. Well, that's not going to work.
Sure. I'm not in the business of taking a listing that I will not sell. I have 100%, actually 99% rate on listings that I sell.
That's good to know.
So I am not in the business of throwing money away, which is what it would mean to take a listing, because taking a listing is something I have to earn your business on. But at the same time, I start throwing money out if I'm not strategically setting up this transaction for a sale. In other words, if I don't sell your house, I've just burnt money on the marketing and all the media I need to do if I can't sell it, not to mention my own reputation. So this is why I asked you. I have buyers, right? I have buyers and I've got sellers I work with. So I work with all different, I work with investors, I work with all sorts of people.
So bring some
But my
people
question,
and show me that they're interested in the house, and we'll work from there. I mean, I haven't signed the listing. It's just that I need to know that you have buyers that are actually interested. Bring a couple of buyers across. Let them look at the house, see what they feel, see how their pricing is. I don't know. I mean, how does that work, really? You know, I just don't want to have to give a listing and say, well, it's going to sell, it's going to sell, it's going to sell. But if it doesn't sell, here's the thing: you're out of money for the marketing you did. I'm out of the chance to be with my daughter. So my question to you is, are you going to pay for my ticket to go see my daughter if the listing doesn't sell in 30 days?
you know what? If that is going to take it, if that's what it's going to take to earn your trust that I can do the job, yes, I will pay for your ticket to go to your daughter. I am that confident. I don't take on a listing.
You got yourself a listing.
Okay. Done.
I wish they were all that.
I was like, no way you're gonna.
Yeah, me
buy that
too.
ticket.
Great.
No way I'm paying for that.
Me neither. Me too. You were great.
I wanted that answer. I like you, Amrita. We should do more role playing. I think we'd make a great team.
Rodney, you were saying to her, like, this agent has buyers. She's been bringing buyers to my house. I was waiting, Enrica, for you to
I
ask
know.
a question. What question was I waiting for you to ask her?
Where are the offers?
Exactly.
Where
Right.
are the multiple offers? Yeah.
Right.
It
So
crossed my head and then it escaped.
she's
But
bringing
yes.
you buyers. However, has any of them written up an offer for you? Do you have offers from the buyers they're bringing?
Right.
Right. Yeah. And I was waiting for that question. I took her in different avenues trying to figure it out.
Right.
No, that's good though. That's
She
good.
got
It
the
keeps me on my
emotional
toes.
part. She got the part that was important to me, and she made that happen. That's what I was trying to achieve.
However, your biggest concern as a seller, from what I heard, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, is that you want this home sold in 30 days so you can be gone, and you don't want to have any issues where it won't sell, correct?
Correct.
Amrita, my question for you is, do you have a guaranteed way that you can get her home sold in 30 days?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is that?
Follow my strategy, and if it doesn't sell, I'll buy it.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that, because that is a strategy. Like, listen, if I don't sell your house in 30 days, I'll buy it. But more importantly, what can you do to make sure it sells in 30 days so you don't have to buy it?
Price it right.
You follow my strategy. Price it so that you got people knocking down your door giving you over asking.
So what if
That's
that's a strategy. So what if you said to Ragini, I have a strategy that's guaranteed to sell your home in 30 days. Let's set up a time so I can show you what that strategy is.
okay.
Would she meet with you? Would she set up a
Yeah.
meeting with you? I have
Yes,
a
absolutely.
guaranteed strategy that will sell your home.
Yeah.
And we all have that strategy. It's about price.
Yeah.
If we price it
All
here,
price.
it will sell. If we price it
Yeah.
here, it won't sell.
Correct.
Right.
That's where I wanted you to say that. Like, I can guarantee
Okay.
your home will sell in 30 days. Let me sit down with you and show you what that plan looks like. It's all
Got
price.
it.
It's all
Got it.
price.
Yeah.
But you did a great job asking questions, though. I mean, I can tell that you were being very thoughtful about what you were saying, and I could tell that you were making yourself not tell but ask questions. I could see it, and I could
Yeah.
feel it.
Struggle.
However, you did a good job at it, though. It's a
Thank
struggle,
you.
but you've been working at it, and I can see the improvement with it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
Awesome.
okay.
I have a question about your strategy. If the house doesn't sell, you'll buy it. I mean, that's a big thing to say. I had a bold agent that we're partners, and his strategy is, if I don't sell your house in 30 days, you don't pay my commission. And I thought that was bold, but yours that's a lot to say. And if it doesn't sell, you're
Well, I
really
really
buying
think-
that house? I mean, I'm just curious.
Yeah, so
She's gonna get a
you-
giant price reduction first, though.
Sounds like Rob Dikansky. She sounds
It's
like
not
Rob
even-
Dikansky.
Right.
There's no
that's
price reduction is not leverage. You want leverage. I want you to be in a position where you have so much leverage that you get to choose which offer you want to move forward with. So that's why I prefaced it. If you follow my strategy, if you don't follow the strategy, then I don't buy your house, right? So
Right.
it's the hook that I got your attention. But when we actually sit down, I'm certainly not looking to buy your house if you're not going to follow what I'm telling you to do. And what I'm telling you to do is underprice your home.
That's right.
It's going to freak you out. Underprice it like by 15% minimum, because you will make up for it. And I've got proof on listings I've had where I've done that, and I've gotten 20, 25,000, 30,000 over ask.
Yeah.
Ryan does that. He did that on the house in Paramus. We had 51 unique sets of people on the first day of the open house. The next day, it was like another 60 or 70, and they wound up getting like $50,000 over asking.
Correct.
Of course. Well,
Because
that's
it's a
how it
fear of
works.
missing out.
It's a fear of missing out. You're absolutely right. And so Haza, that agent who was saying, if I don't sell it in 30 days, I'll sell it for free. You better believe he was not taking overpriced listings. He was making sure that they were priced where in 30 days it's under contract.
Yeah.
We
He
can
does
sell a
that
house
every
in one
time,
day.
by the way. He does that
sell a
every
house.
time.
Well, of course, we can sell a house in one day if it's priced correctly.
Right.
It's all about knowing the comps and knowing how to price. And so you can make that claim when you're pricing aggressively. Absolutely.
Okay,
In
but
fact,
let's say
I would end up with like 10 homes, and I'll be like, I'm like, I have 10 houses because I couldn't sell. I'm making a joke.
Yeah.
I have a question, David.
Yeah. What's up, Raggedy?
So when you price the houses, here's my fear, and it's a fear. Isn't pricing under pricing should be according to towns and the demand and supply ratio? Because sometimes you look at it and say, this isn't the town to do this in. Paramus is the town to do it in. Fairlawn's the town to do it in. Glen Rock's not the town to do it in. Well, I don't know. Now you tell me, how do you, because I always have a problem with this. I look at the comps, I look at the solds, I look at the on the market, I look at everything possible before I come to a price.
Right.
But sometimes my mind says, well, why don't you price it a little bit over so you have the leverage to come down? Price it a little bit lower so you have a lot more multiple buyers. When do you know when to make that decision?
Well, so here's the
Going
thing.
lower is always better.
If you
Always.
go low, you will never undersell a house. What you have to understand is when you put a house on the market, there are already people looking for that type of house in the market. They've seen everything that's on the market. It hasn't worked for them. They're waiting on new inventory. And then every day, new buyers are coming to the market every day. So they know what homes are selling for or what homes are worth. You put your house on the market under market value, they know it's a deal. Everyone comes to it. It's like an auction. They start bidding against each other, and it's going to bid up to market value and sometimes over market value. So you can never underprice a house. I don't care if it's in Glen Rock, Patterson, Wyckoff, Upper Saddle River. If you underprice it based on the comps, you're going to bring a lot of people in. And if they have interest and start bidding against each other, you're going to sell it for more, no matter what.
All right. So here's a question that even so when you meet the seller, okay, you're the seller, and I say, well, I'm going to sell. What are you going to price my house? What do you think it's worth? Well, it's worth this much, but I'm going to price it for this much. And sometimes the seller looks at you and says, I'm not putting my house up for that price. And what if you? So there's another problem.
Well, it depends on the motivation of the seller. If the seller is you, when you were saying, I need to be to my daughter in 30 days, I can't go high and say we have room to negotiate, because going high means in 30 days, you're going to still be in this house.
Right.
And so it just depends on your motivation and how quickly you have to have it sold. If you're telling me I need to be out here ASAP, then I'm going to talk to you about an aggressive price. If you're telling me I'm okay if it takes 2 months, then we're going to price right where it needs to be priced. It really just depends on your motivation to sell.
Okay.
That's really it.
All right.
Good question, but it depends on the seller. If they're highly motivated and they have to sell and they have to get out of there, you can show them how an aggressive price will
time frame.
Yep.
I got you.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, but let's say you price it underpriced and they follow the strategy and whatever. Are you actually going to buy the house at the end in 30 days when it doesn't sell?
You know, I would think, I don't offer that program, but I'm thinking if you do buy it if it doesn't sell, you're negotiating a lower price point. You're not going to buy it at the price it was listed at, correct, Amrita? Is it a lower price?
There's fine print in all of this, right?
Okay.
So it could be that you're going to get offers. Whether you choose to accept it or not, you will get offers.
Okay.
Now, the offers don't have to be over asking. They don't have to be a certain number. Me getting an offer on the table is partially selling the house.
You're doing your job.
You wouldn't be able to.
In.
I brought the offer. I did my job. I've got you an offer. Now you choose to reject it. I've already sold that house to that person. The transaction didn't complete.
Okay. Well, like what Mo is saying, you didn't get any offers and you promised to buy their property. Are you buying it at the price it's listed at, or is there some type of scale where if it doesn't sell, I'll buy it, but at 15% of value? Like, have you come up with a scale?
It would probably be 25% of the value.
Okay.
Because you get 5% off anyways. You don't pay commissions, and you don't pay anything to KW if you're buying a property.
Yeah, but if you're buying it, you're not buying it at list price is what Mo's getting at. You're offering something, but the fine print is if it doesn't sell, I'm not paying you list price. I'm paying you this price.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is that fine print? Do you have it actually written down somewhere?
No, I pulled this out of my ass literally right now. So no, I don't have it.
There are guaranteed sales. There are guaranteed.
But I've heard of people who do offer that.
Rob Kapansky. Rob the
Actually, there's a huge team in Texas. The Lance
Logan, yep.
And they have a tiered approach to this. That if I think by a certain price point reduction, it's a tiered approach. So it's not like you end up buying it at full price.
Right.
Yeah, so you bring their price down as time passes or something like that.
Or your commission, if I don't sell it in 33 months, then my commission goes down to 4%. If I don't sell it, so you got to still keep the buyer's agent at 2%. But then I don't know how the office would accept that, because Keller Williams always says we want our 2.5% or 2% in some states.
You can take the cut, but you cannot cut buyer's commission from 2.5 down.
No, but you can't even cut the commission to Keller Williams because they won't allow you. They're still going to take the 2.5% or the 2% from.
Can I?
No.
I mean, you know the amount that they get from the 30%.
No, that's not the case. You can take a 3% listing and take 0.5% for yourself, as long as you pay 2.5 to the. This is not what you should be doing. That's not what you're worth. That's a different conversation. But I don't think it's a rule. I don't think so.
All right.
I have a
Patty, go ahead.
question.
Go ahead.
Hmm.
I have a question about that. I'm working with a buyer of a builder who's flipping a house, and he said he didn't want to pay 5%. He goes, I only pay out 4%. So I looked up his past sales, and he was using a Keller Williams agent, and they were only paying out 2% on his flips.
That's correct. So new builds, you can go in at 4%, splitting it 50-50. However, when it's not a new build, and I'll give you an example, I had a new build that was rented out for 365 days, and I listed it again. It was not considered a new build anymore, and I had to charge him 5%.
But even if it's just renovated, it's like he flipped the house. He bought it, renovated it. That's considered a new build?
No.
No.
Because all he did was flip the house, and he listed it at 2% for the buyer's agent with Keller Williams.
Yeah.
You know, that might be a gray line. I don't know, D-Rad. I don't know if there's...
I would just say there are some people who ask for forgiveness instead of permission, and so you can't look at everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Just get the listing and do it for 4. That's my advice to you.
My advice to you is understand what your value is. Like Ira talked about his value proposition. I know Patty's been working on, like, what's my value proposition? Like, why would someone list with me? I think what we really need to do is figure out what our freaking value proposition is and what we're going to do for them, because it's not about the 4%. We get so caught up in the commission. It has nothing to do with commission. It has everything to do with what they net and what's important to them. And so what's our value proposition? What are we going to do to help them? Who has a solid value prop that they can share with us that they say? Ira, you're on mute.
I already shared. My value proposition is the fact that I am always available and will always keep you in contact with exactly what's going on. When you call me and you text me, I'm going to be answering the phone, unless it's really late at night. But like my FSBO buyer, my FSBO seller, she was texting me at or sending me emails at 10 o'clock p.m. and I was always responding. And it's like the next day, she said, "Oh my God, you're right. You always answer my call."
Gotcha.
So it's setting expectations for whatever your value prop is. You have to make it real.
Anybody else have a value prop they use that's strong, that gets people to list with them?
I don't know if it's a value prop, but I always say that my business model is run on a simple thing, which is I put myself in your shoes. So if an offer comes to the table, I will tell you that I would not take this offer.
Yep.
I will kill a deal before you ask me to kill it, because I will tell you this home is not worth it. Let's not even explore it. This is out of, you're going to overpay. I see a problem. Do you see that problem? What do you think about this ugly wallpaper? Like, and they're like, wow, like you're calling out flaws instead of trying to convince me that I should buy this house. No, you really shouldn't. This is not the house, and I wouldn't pay this price for it.
I do the same thing.
Let's go.
I love that.
That's awesome.
I totally 100% on that one. Totally.
So
but you have to live it. You can't just say it. That's the thing.
No, absolutely.
No.
You have to show it.
I did my inspection this morning, David.
Yep.
And I spoke to the inspector and I said to him, I said, so what's wrong with the house? I need to know, what's wrong with the house? Because I followed him around everywhere. And he said, there's nothing. It's perfect. I said, because I need to know that this house has nothing wrong with it. And if you, as an inspector, find something wrong, I need to know. Because these are my buyers. And I will never, ever let somebody buy a house unless I've gone through everything. Here's a funny thing, David. Here's the house. The seller's agent tells me there's an easement on the right side for a sewer pipe.
Right.
I go down to the borough hall. Nobody's there. I call them, left messages. Finally, somebody calls me back. She says, there's no sewer line on the right side. It's on the back of the house. I go, because she wanted to move the fence to the right. So this was a whole, and I said, listen, if you can't do something, don't buy the house. But here I find out that the seller's agent herself doesn't know where the easement is.
Gotcha.
So when I found this out today in the inspection after getting in touch with people, my buyer was very happy. She goes, wow, thank you so much. You did a lot of work just to find that out for me. I appreciate it. Because it was in the seller's disclosure. I always read my seller's disclosure with a fine-tooth comb for my buyers.
That's what we should
Before
be.
I send it to them. It's very important.
Tell me about the 3 Ps and how we can use that as our value prop. Anybody use that when you're talking to people?
price?
I do, Dave. I tell everybody about that, the whole thing, right? There's 3 P's to most agents. They, put your listing on the MLS, they put a sign in the ground, and then they pray somebody else sells it. But I do other P's. I do prospecting and price watching. I prospect every single day, and I price watch. I watch the market to make sure that we are priced in the right, in the sweet zone, and that we're going to be getting offers. And actually, I just had a phone call. A lady was calling me back. It was an agent who I had called today because I reverse prospected her for the listing I just put on in Franklin Lakes. She had no idea about reverse prospecting.
Yeah, most people don't.
So, I called her and she's like, nope, I don't have any recollection of the people. So I said, look at your prospects and call me back when you find out, because it gives you the name of the prospect, kind of coded.
Yeah.
So
that's really great, Tony. Our value proposition centers around kind of like a little 2-liner here on our cards, but I'll read it to you. We will get your home sold and treat you like gold. Now, that really what it is about is holding their hands during a really difficult time in their lives. They're trying to help buy a home or list a home, but it becomes a very, very difficult process, and we make it simpler. We simplify it for them. So literally, we're treating them like gold, and they get it.
I love it. I love it.
I love it too. Good stuff.
Yeah, and, the biggest thing is, if we're doing our job correctly, we show our value from the minute we talk to them. Like as we're going through our script and we're digging for motivation, we're showing value. When we pre-qualify them, we're showing value. When we send our pre-listing packet to them, we're showing value. When we show up and we know a listing presentation and we go through it, soup to nuts, we're showing value. When we ask them permission to be direct with them and we're direct about where they need to be priced in order to get their home sold, we're showing value. So we can have our value propositions like we treat you like gold, and I love that. However, it's more about what we're doing, because we can say anything.
Right.
Real estate agents can talk a good game, but
Yeah.
it's how are you showing up and what are you doing?
Could
And
be a
from the
hollow.
start,
Yeah.
right. This is my value prop, is that I'm going to come in and show you what you need to do to get this home sold. And like Tony says all the time, I don't take every listing. Your home may not qualify for my program. And so I'm not going to bullshit you. If I can't help you, I'm going to let you know that I can't help you. However, based on what you told me, you got to sell this home because your daughter's having a baby and you want to be there to support her. I'm going to show you what needs to happen to make that happen for you. You may not like what I have to say. You may not like the number I recommend. However, you need to get out of here in 30 days. I'm going to put that plan in place for you. That's my value prop, is that I'm going to make sure you're there. And you doing all that stuff shows them that you are putting the work in and the time in.
Where do you put your value proposition in your pre-listing packet?
I would.
What, like, just
in
as a header?
Your bio, like your letter to the seller.
Yeah.
I would put it right in there, like your bio, like right up front.
Yeah, that's what we did. We put it in the kit, and it spells out from soup to nuts our entire. Here's what it means to do business with us.
Yep.
My bio is more like a story about who I am and where I come from, and my, what real estate means to me. Well, I guess maybe it's in there. If I read it again, there's something about it. I have to read it again.
Keza, I think your bio was great.
Thanks.
She has a great bio. She has a great bio.
Thank you. Okay.
So,
maybe it's in there.
No,
your bio made me sound really uninteresting.
Stop that.
I'm like, I'm a loser.
That's impossible.
You're so funny. Just being comedy.
That's funny.
You're the best.
So, I wanted to bring up something. I know we're done with the role play. I was on the Pivot Shift group this morning with James Shaw, and someone brought up 2 things. One was, instead of saying practicing scripts, they talked about taking out the word script and adding in dialogue. Like, I need to practice my dialogue with my clients. And when I heard that, I had never heard that before. I've been doing this 15 years and I never heard someone say dialogue instead of script. It really clicked to me. And I think when we hear scripts, it makes us so nervous and we feel like we're salespeople and everything sounds so canned. But if it's a dialogue that you're having with the seller or a buyer and you're coming from contribution to help them, I think that takes a lot of pressure off. Like I need to practice a dialogue and the questions that I'm asking.
Yeah.
So I almost want us to, I mean, can I change the name to a conversation about dialogue? That I don't know what that sounds. However, you guys get the
Dialogue
It could
about
be
dialogue.
a dialogue about dialogues.
a dialogue about dialogues, right? Like I like that. We need to change that up because so many people say, I don't like scripts. They make me feel canned.
Yeah.
It's not a script. It's teaching you how to talk and ask questions and uncover motivation. And like they were saying, ask and listen so you can find your way to their mind and to their heart. You guys know me, and I'm always telling you, people don't care what you know until they know you care.
Right.
And I know for a fact the reason I was able to get listings and get my 6% and get people to price it correctly is because I started digging and I truly understood what their motivation was. So when they push back on me like, yeah, I don't want to price it here, I want to be priced way up here, I would take them right back to motivation. And if their motivation was true and it was strong, we might have to go back and forth for a little bit. But if I stood my ground and I didn't let them outscript me, they would eventually understand that in order to get their home sold, to get to their new grandbaby in 30 days, they had to be priced correctly. We let sellers outscript us too much because we aren't understanding what their true motivation is, and we're not having that difficult conversation with them. Our income is directly tied to our ability to get them to understand where they need to be priced. And when they outscript us, all we have is an overpriced listing. All we're doing is telling all of our peers and all of the professionals around us that we don't know how to do our job because we let someone tell us a house is worth 500 is worth 725.
Yeah, I think, Dave, that we
got to start fighting for our sellers.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, instead of trying to sell them right away, we need to, you need to find out their motivation, man. I mean, you know what I got posted on my desk, and I look at it every single phone call.
Yeah. Shut the fuck. Yeah.
I don't know
STFU?
if you guys.
Is that STFU or sorry? Yeah, there it is. STFU.
I have the same thing.
Shut the F up.
It just says ask questions and STFU.
Yes.
And really, you can't go in there and tell people what they don't want to hear or what they do want to hear. They just want to get off the phone with you. But if you give them the opportunity to talk about themselves and vent and describe their goals and their aspirations and stuff, now all of a sudden you're their ally. You're not trying to sell them anything. Look, I'm here to help you. That's one of my my propositions is help me help you. I'm here to help you. I like to help people any way I can. And if you want my help, I'm here to give it to you. So how can I help you?
My job is not to force you into making a bad decision. My job is to give you enough information to make a great decision.
Right.
And if that means selling your home right now, great. If that means waiting a year, great. My job is to give you the information for you to make the decision based on what your goals are.
Right. What's best for you right now?
Tony, I almost yelled, "Show me the money."
Gary McGuire over there. Gary McGuire, there we go. Show me the qualm.
Hazel, you had me at hello.
David, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
What happens to, do you sometimes feel, I don't know if all the other agents feel that way too, that, or rather real estate professionals, shall I say, feel that when you go in to speak to somebody, everybody has a script and they all sound the freaking same. It's like almost just like twisted word here and there. And the seller's like, yeah. I've heard it before. Yeah. I've heard that. Oh yeah, I've heard that. They all say the same thing. And it's probably true that if you have 10 people coming to your door at a FSBO, they all say the same thing. So sometimes I'm scared to use the script because I feel I'm going to sound like just the guy that just left the door. And I don't want to do that. So
that's because everybody's saying, I can sell your home, I can sell it faster, I can get you more money,
right.
versus why are you selling this house? Why is that important to you? How will you feel when you get that done? What will that do for you?
But every Keller Williams agent says the same thing. So if there's like 3 of us showing up at the door, we're gonna have the same scripts.
Impossible.
But
They're
if you
not.
say you're going to buy
We're
their house
supposed
at the
to, but
end,
we
that's
don't.
not
Yeah,
everybody's doing that.
ideally, yes, we would all show up and say the same thing time and time again. Unfortunately, we don't. I would love if we all showed up and said the same thing, but we don't.
They probably will believe it.
You said they would or would not?
Would.
Well, yeah, they do believe it when you come from, because listen, logic makes people think, emotion makes people act. If we're all saying the same thing and it's the right thing, it's what's important to you. What are you attempting to accomplish? Why is that important to you? What would that do for you? How will you feel when that happens? If we're all coming from contribution and looking at what's best for the seller, and we all come and we say the same thing, they're going to love that. However, no one does that. They all say, me, hire me. I'm great. I'll do it at 4%. I'll price it high. We're all trying to get the listing versus trying to find out what the seller is trying to accomplish and why that's important to them. I promise you. I promise
you. I got to tell you, I think I have the way I approach FSBOs is entirely different than anybody else. You know, I basically tell them right off the bat, listen, I'm not going to tell you you can't sell your house on your own. I know you can. And I actually have a 60-page guide that I'll email it to you. It'll give you everything you need to know on how to sell this property on your own. But I only ask one thing in return is if you do decide that you want to hire an agent, that you interview me first.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
And that's it. And I do. I have a 60-page FSBO guide on how to, that I've been putting together for years. And it has everything from marketing, whatever. But my strategy on that is not to give them the maps. It's to give them so much information that it's overwhelming and that they finally say,
I can't do this.
I can't do this. And
Tony, let me ask you, how do you think it would be different if you said to them, I'm not here to tell you you can't sell your home. I know you can. However, is it important to you to sell the home yourself, or is it important for you to sell it and make the most money?
Well, that's the next step, right? So if they say, oh, I'm going to give it a try for a week, and I'm going to say, okay, the only thing that concerns me is that you may leave some money on the table. And can I explain to you why?
Love that.
And then I'll go through the whole, wristwatch thing, or I'll go through, how the stats say that, they're making 12% less than an agent. And I'm at right now at 100.1 asking to sales price ratio. So I'm actually getting more money for the people that I represent than I'm actually asking for.
Okay.
And, and then I go through that whole thing. But, my goal, Dave, and is I'm not going to sell you on the telephone.
Yeah.
My goal is this, and I ask the questions. I try and get some information about them, their motivation, and that kind of stuff. But really, what I want to do is right away make an appointment, and then once I get the appointment, that's when I can say, "Hey, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask these questions." And then I go through my script, my whole list of the pre-qualification.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they'll say to you, why are you asking so many questions?
Yeah.
And I tell them right off the bat, I say, listen, if I don't think you're motivated and I don't think that we're a good fit, I'm not going to take your listing. I'd rather, turn you down than let you down. And that's the whole thing. People want to work with you. They'll work with you. But if you have commission breath and you're telling them everything that you possibly can just to get their listing, they know it.
They do know it. They do. You almost have to be at a point where you're willing to walk away. Like, listen, I'm here because I understand what's important to you and I know I can help you. And you have to be willing to walk away. No matter if it's a FSBO expired or someone if they're not willing to price it right or pay you what you're worth, you got to be willing to get up and walk away. And that has to be your mindset. And when that is your mindset, you will get more listings because people will say, well, wait a minute, if this guy's willing to walk away, maybe he's right about price. Let's really think this through a little bit. Or this guy's willing to walk away. Let's think about this commission piece a little bit more. But we have to be willing to walk away and not be so tied to, I need a listing, I have to have a listing, that we will take anything that won't sell.
Right. You're not looking to be busy. You want to sell things that, you want to sell things that you can get turnover quickly. And people who are a pleasure to work with, right? It's kind of like, like you have, I guess, you want to swipe left on a couple of people. You don't want to swipe right on every single one of them, right?
Little tender love. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm glad I got to swipe left and right. I was thinking to myself, like, which way do you swipe for good and bad? I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But,
so Tony, I think everything you said was fair. And I just noticed the time, and I noticed that we're over time. So we're after 6. So I just wanted to say something really quickly. And Radney, I'm so glad that you joined the call, because you said something that I want to wrap the call up with. You decided to look at things differently, and you decided to look at your real estate business as a business, not a job. And I just want to implore everyone that's on this call right now to look at your schedule. And what I did, and it really resonated with me, is all my activities that I was doing during the day that were revenue generating activities, they were green on the calendar. So lead gen, going on appointments, follow up, all that was green. Everything else was a different color. Yes. And if you're looking at your schedule, and I'm speaking to several people directly, and I don't call anybody out because I'm not here to, get on anyone. However, I know that we're spending too much time on Zoom. I know that we're spending too much time doing training and we're not doing our job. We have to treat our business like a business, which means mornings are made for creating opportunities. Afternoons are made for going on appointments and following up and doing all the busy work. We got to start looking at our mornings like we have 2 jobs. Mornings, making income opportunities. Afternoon, handling business. That's what we have to be doing. And so I would encourage you guys, think about it like Radney thought about it. This is her business. And how is she running her schedule? How is she spending her time? We all have the same 168 hours a week. How are we using those so that we can run our business and be in production? She got 6 new listings. She has buyers under contract. She has a closing this month, a closing next month. What we have to understand is it's mid-May. And if we got really busy right now and we got several contracts, they're not going to close until August or September, correct? Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? If they don't close by the end of, if we don't have them under contract and wrapped up by the end of October, we're not getting paid in 2020. Like, this year is going by so quick, and we spent the last 75, 80 days in quarantine. We really have to understand that this year is almost over. We have to have every deal closed or under contract by October 31st in order to get that business on the books for 2020. So we got to think, like, what are we going to do for the next 3 months? How are we going to buckle down and go after business so that we can have the year we want to have? There's still plenty of room to have a great year. However, what are you choosing to do when you wake up in the morning? Are you choosing to role play? Are you choosing to get on the phone and lead generate? Are you choosing to do follow-up? Are you choosing to go on appointments? Or are you choosing to mistake movement for achievement? Like, you have to make a choice. And if you need to make money and you want to have a solid year, you got to start looking at the activities that you're doing every day. And if the activities you're doing are not going to put money here, you got to cut that stuff out. It's after 6 o'clock. Cut that shit out. After 6, I can start different language. Cut that shit out and start doing the activities that are going to make you money. Or else, like they say on the pivot call, you're going to be getting a lot of bills and no paychecks to pay them. Yeah. We got to start doing the work now so that we can sustain ourselves, so we don't have to go out and get a job. Job stands for just over broke. I don't want a job. I own a business. Radney owns a business. You guys own a business. And you need to think, if you were a business owner doing the work the way you currently do it, would you fire yourself? A lot of us would get fired if we were working for another company, but because we're working for ourselves, we give ourselves a pass, don't we?
Mm-hmm. No more.
So
more.
I want to share.
Not if we.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that not if we decided to invest the time that we need to learn before we go and make mistakes. So I am taking my time to do my scripts, to do my role playing, and yes, I'm taking some classes.
Yep.
And I know I am conscious that I'm like spending a lot of time.
Yep.
But I also I'm also getting business from my friends initially. So
Yep.
I am comfortable with the position where I am.
Good.
You're right.
That's good. And I love all that. I love that.
David,
However,
I gotta tell you something. This is every
Huh.
agent should know this. We forget we're making the call. Everybody says make calls, make calls, make calls. We are forgetting people are at home. Go and door knock, walk around your neighborhood, carry your cards. I go to the park. I hand out my door knockers to people. Hey, looking to sell your house. How you doing? Everybody well? Have a conversation. You have people that are home. Walk the blocks. Drop off the things. Ring the doorbells. That is your best bet right now. I'm being honest with you. I'm giving you what I do. I'm just telling you.
Because people are home and people have to sell their home. Either they have to sell it now or they have to sell it later. If you're making the calls, you're making the contacts, you're building your pipeline. Some people will be now business, other people will be later business, but you will create business for yourself. And I saw this quote from Theodore Roosevelt, somebody's Instagram page, and I love it. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. You'd be kicking yourself in the ass because it's up to you to go out there and do it. And what choices are you making when you wake up in the morning? Are you making the choice to get on the phone, to make the calls, get on the phone and do the follow-up, and practice your scripts and your role playing, your listing presentation, so when you get the opportunity, you can go nail it? Or are you just doing like I used to do and say, I can wing it, and maybe I'll get half of the people I talk to? That's not good enough anymore. Right now, the opportunities are there, and we have to be making sure that we are setting ourselves up for success. Real estate simple is not easy. However, if we treat it like it's our business, we will have success. And that's what I want you guys to do. That fair?
Love it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm done preaching.
Me too.
I wanted to say cheers to everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I did want to say one thing though. Yara, thank you for joining the call today. You've been having some good success, right, Yara?
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry to put you on the spot here. Will you share with everyone like what's been going on with you?
Yeah, I changed my mood today. Like I changed my affirmative to they are waiting for my call, okay, and start calling today. So I got like 2 prospect buyers, seller story, and one person that she told me like, oh, I'm so happy that you called because I have a lot of questions because we want to buy a house.
Yeah, so Yara was on the call with me this morning at 11, and we were talking about affirmations, and I told her to think of an affirmation, like, what do you want to happen when you're making calls? And she changed what she was saying before she got on the phone, and where she wasn't having success before, she's having success now. So a lot of it's our energy, right? If you expect people to be home and you expect listings to come to you like Patti, that stuff works and it does happen. You have to speak it into existence a lot of times, because most of it is your mindset keeping you from having success. So if you rewire how you think about it and you make the calls and you do the work, it happens. It works for you.
Yeah, that's Thank you so
True.
much, David.
Thank you.
Yeah. Patty's a listing magnet. Magnets come to her. I mean, that's powerful.
Woohoo!
Go, Patty.
Go, Patti, go.
Mine used to be, I have to make more calls because when people sit down and talk to me, they want to list with me. And that was mine. Like, I just got to get on the phone, because once I get on the phone, I'm good. I just need to get in front of them. The phone was just a way for me to get belly to belly and have a conversation with that seller. So yeah, guys, I am so excited about the energy around what Ragini shared and changing the way you look at your business.
Yep.
It is your business. And either you're going to be in business or you're going to be out of business. It's all about what you choose to do when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about what you choose to do. So go out there and make some good choices, people.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It was great being here today.
Yeah.
Ragini, you have to come on all the time now.
Come
I
back.
have to get my jacket, right?
It's in my garage. My husband's like, whose orange jacket is this? I'm like, please.
That's so funny.
Well,
So funny.
All right, we'll get together.
And so we have some new people, Balara, Rocco. Rako, thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys being on. Hopefully
Thank you for having me.
got some value today from the call. And as
Yes,
always,
indeed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next Wednesday.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. We're here every Wednesday. So you
Happy
get out of the call.
Memorial Day, everybody.
Yeah,
Happy Memorial Day.
You.
Be safe.
Talk to y'all in the morning on the Morning Mindset Call.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.